Hello, my beautiful crafty friends. I am Katya with Lunar Sun Creations. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. So I was just playing around and I came up with this really cool, well, at least what I think is a cool earring pattern. And before I forgot what the heck it was that I did, and before I baked them, I thought that I would try to recreate it for you and for myself. So I've got just a little bit of black, some translucent, tiny bit of white, and then I've got a little bit of Sculpey Primo Rouge, and to the translucent I'm going to add just a sliver of this rouge, like just a tiny bit. It's just a sliver of it, and I'm going to meld it all together to create like a lighter color of that rouge. Okay, so we've got more of a pink color now. So right now they're all rolled out onto my thickest setting, but now I'm going to take both the black and the white and roll those out onto my thinnest setting and long, because I'm going to wrap them around. I'm going to roll all of these into logs and then wrap them in the white and the black. Okay, so now I'm going to take my three colors and just kind of roll them into logs, roughly the same size. Make sure there's no bubbles in them. Okay, so now that I've got three logs that are roughly the same size, the white one's a little bit, or the translucent's a little bit long. Might chop that one off just a bit. Okay, so I'm going to wrap the lighter one in the black. Just gonna get a straight edge here. Okay, the other two I'm going to wrap in white. If you see any bubbles, just give them a little cut so you can work them out. Okay, and I'm going to roll these into some nice longish logs. Okay, I'm just going to wrap the translucent in the white as well. Okay, I'm just going to re-roll this white to wrap this other translucent. It was just a little bit too long. Okay, and then once they're all wrapped up, I'm going to take my roller and just kind of flatten them out just a little bit. Okay, so these are both the translucent wrapped in white. I'm going to cut these in half just so it's easier to roll them. So I don't want them super flat, but I'm just, you know, about that thickness. So this is the rouge wrapped in white. and then the black. Okay, and then I'm going to cut these in half again and make a whole bunch of pieces that are about 1.5 inches-ish. So that one's a little bit short. We'll make that one a little bit thinner. Honestly, I don't think this will turn out the same because it's already different from what I did the first time. But let's just see what happens. Okay, now I'm going to take each of these and I'm going to kind of stack them all together. Let's go translucent and then a burgundy and then a pink and black and another translucent, another burgundy. Okay, so that's what I got so far. Let's do maybe a black on either side. So yeah, the pattern's already going to be different, but let's just try and create a different cool pattern. Okay. And then let's chop one of these in half lengthwise. I'm going to chop the black covered one in quarters and just fill in this little space, I think, but the black side in. Let's do that. Okay, now that I've got them all kind of stacked together, I'm just going to go over it with my roller and kind of turn it into a square cane shape. Okay, I'm just gonna keep working it until it's about 4 inches, and then I'm gonna cut it in half. Okay, and then I'm gonna put it together again. It's kind of looking cool. We're gonna reduce it again. Cut it in half again. And I'm actually going to cut off these ends just so I can see how close we are to putting it together perfectly. Okay, so let's try and match up this end here. Make sure it's the same on this end. Oh, I haven't cut off quite enough. That's all right. Okay, and we're going to roll that again just to make sure it's all very much together. Okay, I'm going to reduce it just a little bit more, and then I'm going to let the cane rest before we cut it. Keep rotating the cane as you reduce it. Try to keep your lines as straight as possible. Okay, I'm gonna let that rest for just a little bit, and I'm gonna put it in the fridge actually for about 10 minutes, and then we will slice into it. Okay, so it's had a chance to chill for a little bit, and that's what it's looking like. I have cut a few slices, but I'm going to continue to cut some more, and we'll make a slab out of it. I do apologize. I realize now that I was off camera for part of me putting the cane together, but I'm actually going to make another one in different colors just so you can see everything. So before you yell at me into comments, I'm going to make another one. So let's bring this over and we'll continue adding to it. These ones aren't quite as pristine, but we're gonna go with it anyway. Okay, every once in a while I'll just take my blade and just kind of go around the edges to try and make it as straight as possible. And then I've just got 3 left here. I wonder if we can make one more tiny little piece out of this. Okay. Sweet. Let's just give it a little tiny roll. We don't want to stretch it. We just want to smooth it. I'm going to do this with my roller, and then I'm going to go over the whole thing, burnishing it with a piece of paper. Okay, oh no. I'm going to smooth out the other side here. Okay, so this is what we have so far. You can tell where I stopped. This part is much better than this part. It started to get warm, you could see it. All right, so I'm going to run it through my pasta machine on the thickest setting. Okay, so now we've got a cool little slab that we can make some earrings out of, or something of that nature. Let's see, before I cut those out, I'm going to make the other slab and then cut them all at the same time, I think. Okay, so let's do it again with some different colors. This time I'm going to use some cobalt blue and some bright yellow. And then the white, black, and translucent. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to cut this translucent in half. Put this yellow here. Put just a tiny bit of blue here. And we'll mix those up. Okay, so just like before, I've got my colors. So here's the pure yellow and the translucent yellow. And then I've got the pure blue and the translucent blue mix, and then plain translucent, and I'm gonna make those all into logs and then wrap them again in either white or black. Okay, so I'll be back as soon as I've done that. Okay, so I've got everything wrapped up. I've got my translucent ones wrapped in the white as we did before. The deep yellow and the deep blue are both also wrapped in white. And then the translucent yellow and translucent blue blends are wrapped in the black. So now I've got them cut into pieces. I'm just going to give them a little bit of a flatten. This isn't absolutely necessary. I just like the look that it gives when it's kind of in like that, almost like a bean shape. Okay, and I will try not to go out of frame this time. My wonderful hubby, who is oh so smart, suggested that I put some markings on my work area here so that I would visually know as I look down whether or not I am out of frame. So I have done that, so hopefully that will not happen this time. I just get so into what I'm doing that I completely forget. See, I'm already doing it. Look at me go. Okay, but you've seen this part anyway. I'm just flattening everything out. I'm gonna cut them all into about 1.5 inch long sections, and then the creative part just comes in putting it together in various ways, because every time you put it together, you can put it together differently and creates a different pattern. I love polymer clay for that, so I'm just going to stretch these out a little bit. I might have flattened these ones just a little bit too much, so I want them to be around 1.5 inches, so I might stretch these and actually cut them again. Okay, so I've got all my little bits, and let's start putting them together. Okay, how am I going to do this? Let's go. Dark on either side. And then a light on either side of that. I'm kind of trying to keep it in a square-ish shape. Let's go translucent on the edge of each of that. And then we'll start adding some of the yellow. Let's go yellow here. Yellow here. I'm going to kind of pinch it a little bit, I think, and change the shape just slightly, and then maybe do some light yellow. Okay, I'm going to fold the light yellow kind of almost around that there, stretch it just a little bit, fold it kind of around a little bit. Okay, let's get a dark blue here. And then light blue over here. This part I never plan, I just wing it as I go. Need a little bit more translucent maybe on all 4 sides, just to kind of make sure, where am I, spacing it out so that it's kind of keeping a shape here. It's turning more circular than it is square, but we can change that very easily. Need some more yellow. Let's go opposite what we did before with the yellows. Or no, actually, let's bring some yellow up here. Oh. I'm gonna maybe cut these yellows in half lengthwise. And I'm going to kind of put them on each corner here, perhaps, beside the bright yellow. And honestly, you can pretty much do whatever pattern you like, and it's almost guaranteed to turn out awesome. Every pattern that I've tried has turned out great. So I've got one blue left, so let's chop that one in half lengthwise as well. Put it maybe at the top and the bottom. And then we'll kind of use the last bit of translucent ones just to kind of fill in spaces. Yeah, just fill in the spaces in between these little ones that we just added, and then we can kind of square it off again. I mean, you can make it round if you prefer, but I think I'm gonna square this off. So I'm just gonna kind of push with my hand first. Try and get it into a vague square shape, and then I'll use my block. Okay, so I'm going to keep working with this. I'm going to reduce it until it's probably about 10 inches, 8 to 10 inches. If anyone's not familiar with reducing canes, just kind of start in the middle and work your way out. If you have lines on the outside of the cane, you're trying to keep the lines as straight as possible as you do it. Every once in a while, give it either a little roll or a little push with the your block, and keep rotating it like this, and just be patient with it. Okay, so I will be back when this is all reduced. Okay, so I've got it to the length that I want it, and I just cut it in half. Sorry, I missed that on camera. And now I'm going to try to put the two halves together side by side as close as I can get them. Before I squish too much, I want to go to the other end and make sure that the other end is also lining up, and it is quite different over on this end. So I'm not sure how the middle of the cane is going to be, but we'll see. I'm going to cut it in half again. You can measure exactly if you like. I'm just eyeballing it. Okay, the middle of the cane looks pretty darn good, so let's put that together as close as possible. Oh, focus, focus. There we go, and we will try to do the same with the other end. Apparently my eyeballs are not nearly as good as I think they are. That's okay. Okay, and now we'll put these together. They're pretty darn close. Okay, and now before I continue cutting into it, I'm going to put it in the fridge for just a little bit. Right now it's quite soft, so if I start cutting into it now, the chances of it warping and distorting and kind of running into each other are pretty high, so I want to keep this pattern as crisp as I can, so I'm going to put it in the fridge for about 10 minutes, and I'll come back when it is ready. Okay, so it's out of the fridge. I'm going to cut it in half and see what we've got. Okay, I like that. Just trying to decide if I want to reduce it more, but I think this is good. I think I'm going to slice it and make it into a pattern, and then we'll go from there. Try to make your slices as even as possible, and you can kind of rotate your cane as well, and that will help it to not distort. Okay, I'm gonna get all of these sliced and then I'll start putting it together. And we'll see what kind of patterns we can create. Okay, so I've got them going this way. I think I'm gonna try and continue for this slab going this way. Might do I still have half the cane left, so I might do a different slab going the other way. I don't know if you can hear the wind. It is crazy out there right now. If you do have pieces that are not quite like either too thick or too thin, try to have them on the outside edge so they don't kind of muck up your pattern, because they will, when you run this through your roller, they'll stretch out differently than the rest of them. Ooh, ooh, that one's, I started going the wrong direction on these ones. Oh, well, they're down there now. Oops. It's funny that I said I was going to go the same direction as I changed direction. That was... yeah, that's how my brain goes. Okay, well, I've got one left. That's all right. Okay, so I'm going to give it just a little bit of a roll with my brayer here. And then a little burnish with a piece of paper just to kind of smooth it out. And then we'll do the other side, and then we'll run it on the thickest setting of my pasta machine. Feels pretty good on this side. Okay, let's run it through the thickest setting. Okay, and there it is. I think it looks pretty cool. Let's see, what cutters should we use to cut out some shapes? I think I'm gonna go with these ones and maybe do a few dangles on earrings. Okay, I'm gonna do a couple of this shape. Oh, I didn't put down my saran wrap, that's all right. We'll make it work. Okay. Oh, they look cool. Okay, just kind of run your finger around the edge of them to kind of clean them up. It helps to reduce the amount of sanding you have to do afterwards. Okay, so here they all are, ready to go into the oven. The more I look at these ones, the more they kind of like remind me of like nautical, like the yellow almost looks like rope knots or something, or chain. They kind of look nautical to me. We'll put them in the oven, got them at 275 for about 40-45 minutes, and then I'll show you what they look like after. Okay, so it's the next day. I've finished a few of the pieces. I've resined them and put them together. Unfortunately, it is such a dreary, rainy day outside, so I couldn't take pictures of them outside in the sunshine, because there is no sunshine. But that's okay. I'm just going to show you this way. So there's one pair. Here's another pair with the blue. The sun really does shine through them beautifully with all the translucence in them. And then these ones turned out really nice. Oh, the camera is just not doing them justice. You can see just a little bit of the translucence, but when the sun shines on them, they're just gorgeous. But I'm still quite pleased with them. And then these ones, I think these ones are my favorite. Let's see if I can show you just a little bit of the translucence. Oh, you can't really see it. Yeah, it's so frustrating not being able to show you how beautiful they are in the sun. But I love the way they turned out. And then these ones, I managed to get one picture of these ones in the sun, because these ones have a lot of translucence in them, so they really show up in the sun. So I think I might be keeping these ones and these ones because I just love them so much and I can't let them go. I don't think I'm going to be selling these at markets. I'm going to be keeping these ones and showing them off in my own ears. So I hope that you got something out of this video. If nothing else, it's just that with this technique, almost any way that you put them together is going to be absolutely gorgeous. If you haven't already, you can boop that little subscribe button. That really helps me out. And down below in the description box, there is a button called Buy Me a Coffee, and that is just basically a little virtual tip jar that really helps this channel to keep going and allows me to continue bringing free tutorials in all shapes and sizes and various mediums. And I hope you'll consider doing that as well. All right, I love you all. I hope you're having a beautiful day and sending you huge hugs. Bye.